My name is Jee-Hoon, and I'm actually an engineer, electrical engineer by training. I graduated from MIT with a PhD many years ago. Spent 20 years in the semiconductor field. And then in 2016, I made a dramatic change in my career, and I started a nonprofit to teach classical piano to kids growing up in Newark, attending public school and living in public housing. Music opened up doors for me. And when I was at MIT, music was the common language between the students. Most of the students have already mastered some instrument by the time they get to MIT. I really never thought I would be doing this today. It's not something that my mom wanted me to do. She made it clear that she didn't want me to be a musician. Even today, it's very hard for me to explain to my family what I do. But it was actually through MIT, through being challenged, and through my job in engineering that I learned to be obedient to what God called me to. My faith journey started when I was born. I was born into a Christian family, but really Jesus didn't get a hold of me in a really strong way until I was MIT, and I was really pushed to the edge of my own capability. I was very fortunate to live with a roommate who was a Christian. She would, of course, ask me to come to church with her or go to Bible study with her, and most of the times I wouldn't go because I just didn't have the time. There's just so much to do at MIT, and you're always busy, so I just never made the time. But something happened one time which sticks with me still. I had a lab that was due the next day, and it was to build a radio, and it wasn't something that I was particularly skilled at doing. But I thought that night that maybe I'll trust God with my time. And I would give him 2 hours of my life out of the week to attend the Bible study, even though the lab was due the next day. And I did. But on my way to the lab, I passed by this guy. He was a student, and he said, "Do you need help?" And I said, "Yeah, but who are you?" And it turns out that even though I didn't know him, he knew me because I played the piano, and he had seen my performances before. And he attends the same lab that I did, and he was really good at building radios. So he helped me with the lab, and I finished it. That was just a little thing that God did for me to teach me that I can trust him with the little things. And from that little thing, he taught me to trust him with more and bigger things. So I actually had a little taste of what the Octet Collaborative is trying to do. There was this house owned by Park Street Church called the Wilson House, where the youth minister lived with his family. And it was a really important time for me living in that house because I needed to change my lifestyle. Everybody was really trying to understand what the Bible taught and how our lives fit into that. The Octet Collaborative gives me hope that we could see a little glimpse of heaven here in Boston at MIT.